just outside my building on Main Street and 3rd South, and then the problems with human feces and urine. We'd be greeted with puddles of urine every day walking into our building. Well, what happens? That pits business owners or residents against members of the homeless community. They blame them. No, they have to relieve themselves. That's like blaming a dog for having to relieve himself when you don't provide another place. That is the mayor's responsibility. Focus any anger or resentment you have on the mayor who has totally failed and refused to pursue the common sense solutions. You could have attended safe
But what about the
toilets.
nimbyism? Like I keep hearing about the Sanctioned Campground, and now Pioneer Park Coalition, now called Utah Solutions, they're saying, okay, we got funding. There's funding for a sanctioned campground now. Now we just have to find the real estate. We know Utah and Salt Lake is run by developers / politicians. How are you going to possibly find that real estate where you're going to get that buy-in from the community?
Okay, first of all, let's agree on the concept, and as part of the concept, in a place that's going to have the most minimal, if no effect on residents and businesses. And there are those places. We could set it up. The Spaghetti Bowl's a perfect example.
Camp
They weren't bothering anybody.
Greyhound.
They went around and talked to businesses that were even quite a distance away.
It seems like, especially the ones you mentioned, I didn't know of any business owners complaining about them being there.
I mean, there's no businesses around there. Those places are
But
vacant
that's like
under railroad.
That's
on
like Union
railroad
Pacific
tracks
land. Could
Nobody
that
wants to live
somehow
next to a
get
train.
approved? I mean, you know the legislative process behind that, or the
Of course,
approval.
I mean any kind, especially in a freezing weather going into a winter. Hopefully, we don't have the same mayor in place, and we can immediately find shelter for those in the homeless community. And if they prefer to be in tents, and then you could get that sanctioned campground. But I also think there are plenty of warehouses. There are plenty of places we could find that, like the courtyard in San Antonio, you could put pads down on the floor. They've got lockers where you can store your property. But right now, what happens? You pitch your tent. You're just trying to find a place to exist. You have a job. Then you get a warning that they're going to come and they're going to raid and they're going to take your property if you're not there and get your stuff out of there. So you can't go to work. I talked to a guy who has 2 temporary jobs and a part-time job. And the part-time job was at Vivint Arena. I've met 2 people that are employed at Vivint Arena that are living in
I've met a
tents.
few too.
They can't show up at work because they're too busy trying to save their property from somebody stealing it when they're gone. So a sanctioned camp would provide that security. You could leave your things. You can go to work. Let's stop treating members of the homeless community as if they're helpless, because most of them are not. They want a better life.